Special food premises. First, I'm going to talk about farmers markets. A farmers market is a central location where a group of people operate stalls to sell farm products, baked goods, preserved foods. A lot of these products they are selling are their own products from their farms. So what is considered a farm product? A farm product is grown, raised, or produced on a farm and intended to be used as food. It includes fruit and vegetables, mushrooms, meat products, dairy products, honey products, maple products, fish, grains, and seeds. Now, there are two different types of farmers markets. The first one is a non-exempt farmers market, and the other one is an exempt farmers market. Non-exempt farmers markets have to comply with the food premises regulation, and all food must be prepared in an inspected food premises, where exempt farmers markets don't have to be inspected under the food premises regulation. The only catch is 51% of their products being sold must be farm products from their own farm. And again, exempt farmers markets are exempt from the food premises regulations. However, that being said, they are not exempt from the HPPA. Exempt farmers markets can't sell ungraded eggs, uninspected meats, unpasteurized milk, and they must use a potable water source and cannot have any health hazards. Applicable farm products. For a farm to be considered a true farmer, the products must be edible and their products must be non-processed foods. For example, an apple vendor. An apple vendor can have apple pie, but they must also have at least 51% of their products being sold are raw apples from their orchard or farm. So exemption of inspections of farmer markets. All farmers markets are inspected regardless of their exemption status. For exempted farmers markets, we can only make recommendations. For all other farmers markets, any year-round markets are inspected twice a year, whereas seasonal markets are inspected once a year. Rotational vendors. So some markets may require additional inspections to capture all the vendors because rotational vendors aren't always there. What we look for during the inspections. So we look for proper holding temperatures for cold holding, hot holding, and any reheating or cooking temperatures. Thermometers. Stalls must have a probe thermometer and indicating thermometers in their hot and cold holding units. Hand washing stations, if applicable, they need hot and cold water, soap, and paper towels. Food handler certification is also required, if applicable. Proper labeling must be on all products. It should have the product's common name, their business name, and contact, net quantity of the product, ingredients, handling instructions, storage, expiry, and allergen alerts. If it's not properly labeled, we must notify the CFIA. If a food stall is sampling, we need to ensure that the food is prepared and stored at the right temperature. Distribution of the samples are done correctly, and that hand washing stations are available. Uninspected products. So must have labels and plant stamps for eggs, milk, and meat. Again, farmers markets aren't exempt from the HPPA. Eggs, milk, and meat have to be from approved sources. Now, canned products. Canned products are a food item that's at risk for botulism. Items not listed on applications. These farmers markets stalls are not approved to sell that. The next type of special food premises are special events. Whenever food or beverages are sold at public events or personal services are offered to the public health will get notified and involved. So public events versus private events. Public events are advertised to the public. For example, fairs, rib fests, music festivals. If a public event is on private property, it can be inspected if it's a public event. Now, a private event is an event that is inaccessible to the general public and has a guest list. For example, weddings, baby showers, and staff parties. Public health notification. Event organizers must notify public health at least 30 days before the event, and food vendors for the event must notify public health at least 14 days before the event. Any events with liquor must notify the Alcohol Gaming Commission of Ontario, and for them to get a license to serve liquor, they need to get inspected by public health. Exemptions from the food premises regulation. So special events run by religious organizations are exempted. Events by service clubs, so for example, the Lions Club, any community sports associations are exempt from the food premises regulation, and any events run by fraternal organizations. They are exempt only if they hold special events, bake sales, and farmers markets. They still need to notify public health, and they must notify patrons that food is uninspected and the event organizers must keep a donor list. The donor list should include the donor name, their address, and their phone number. Not all special events require inspections. We can conduct risk assessments and use our discretion as public health inspectors. Some consideration of special event inspections. All events are different. Not all vendors are food premises. That means some vendors, if they use community kitchens that are inspected, it's allowed. There are different setups for each food vendor. So you could have a food truck, a table under a canopy, for example. As inspectors, these are some things to bring for special event inspections. A fully charged phone, inspection report templates, the proper equipment, so thermometer, test strips, and alcohol swabs, vendor applications, educational resources, and water, because it is an outdoor event. So, mobile food premises. Any premises that can be easily moved between locations and prepare food to be offered for sale to the public. Mobile food premises include food trucks, street food vending carts, food service trailers, hot dog carts, and ice cream carts. Some requirements for mobile food premises. When we inspect the vehicle, it must be ready for business, meaning all food must be prepared in the premises. Only single-use articles are to be served with food, so no reusable dishes. There should be separate holding tanks for potable water and wastewater. Water tanks must have readable gauges, and there must be a potable water source. Hot and cold water with soap and paper towels must be available too. Dishwashing sink must be available. Screened service doors, and protection from pest entry as well. Cleanable floors and walls must be observed as well. Mobile food premises don't need hand washing if the food is prepackaged. No hand washing too if what they're selling is low-risk food, for example, popcorn. That being said, all food must be prepared in an inspected facility, and they cannot be prepared at home. They need to be transported at the correct temperature, and they need proper hot holding too. Ready-to-eat foods must be separate from raw foods, and they need sanitizer and sanitizer test strips. They must also have a certified food handler on site. If they're selling prepackaged foods, no food handler certificate is needed. Licensing. Depending on city bylaws, licensing may be required for mobile food premises to operate on municipal property. Public health inspections completes the licensing process, and our approval is what they need to get the license. So areas in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph that need licensing are Guelph, Orangeville, and Shelburne. So that concludes it for special food premises.